On our newsline now is Jim Finan, who was on the train. I believe, Jim, you were in the first train car right at the moment of impact. Tell me, how did you get out of that train?
Luckily, I was able to get out through the doors. They got the doors open pretty quickly. The Jersey Transit workers responded pretty quickly to the accident.
So, take me through this. You're in the front of the train. It didn't stop as it came into the station. You heard, what, a huge bang, an explosion. You're thrown off your feet. What happened to the other people? Take me through it, please, Jim.
Right. So as we're coming into the station, you felt that we were just coming in too fast. You could feel it. We were coming in at full tilt, at full speed. There was a very loud boom when I guess we hit the barrier at the end that typically stops the train. And at that point, it was like you're bouncing up and down in your seat. Luckily I was sitting. The people who were standing at that point were being tossed about the train car, and we were bouncing around for a good 30-40 seconds until what I know now, where we crashed into the wall, and that's really the only thing that stopped the train. At that point, I was sitting by the emergency exit, and myself and another gentleman popped the window out. He jumped out the window. We began helping the few of the passengers who were right there. I think 2 other people exited through that window. And at that point, the Jersey Transit workers had the doors open, got the doors open, so everyone was able to exit the train through the doors.
Jim, what's interesting here is that normally, of course, as you well know, these trains slow down as they're approaching the terminal. As you've described it, this train did not. Were you aware of this? You figured out that you were being bumped around before impact, right?
It was just coming in fast. I mean, typically what happens is I take this train every day, and typically what will happen is there's usually some traffic. So the train will stop, 100 yards before it even gets to the platforms, waits for traffic to pass through, and then it comes in relatively slowly. And that didn't happen this morning. It just it came straight in and never slowed.
From what you saw, Jim, the damage to the train, the platform, the concourse, and the roof of the station, can you imagine commuting into Hoboken train station tomorrow morning? Is it likely?
No. I mean, I would imagine it's going to be weeks, if not months, before this is repaired. I mean, the damage is pretty extended. I mean, and plus where it hit, it kind of hit right by the staircase that leads down into the PATH station, which is another commuter train.
Yep.
And the structural damage looked pretty significant, where the roof collapsed and it hit a building.
Do you consider yourself lucky to be alive this morning, Jim?
I do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes,
I mean,
you do.
Especially sitting in the first car. I mean, it's...
I bet you sit in the first car every day because you want to be first out of the train to get onto the PATH to get to work in New York. Is that right?
It's true, and then it's the quiet car, right, which where no cell phone use, no talking. So it's the more peaceful ride usually.
Well, it wasn't quiet this morning. Jim Finan, thank you very much for joining us. Excellent description of precisely what happened, valuable to us all, and we appreciate you being with us, Jim. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.